Good morning. I am going to ask everybody to go ahead and take their seats. I'm glad everybody's enjoying the company of others that are here today to join us in celebration. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today at our Women's Resource Center Legacy Luncheon. Today we are going to celebrate some of the women, our Wonder Women in our community, and then we're also going to take time to learn a little bit about what makes this organization so wonderful. I absolutely love this event. Every year I come here leaving with a sense of admiration and a sense of pride for the women that you're going to hear about today. Number one, admiration, because we have women that are clients of the center that are going to share their story. They're going to share with us what the Women's Resource Center means to them and how it has helped them prosper in their journey of life. And then we're also going to celebrate some Wonder Women that make our community absolutely amazing. And so without these Wonder Women and men that join us in our fight to make sure that women are prospering and that they have a place to be supported no matter what their journey in life is, it's super important that you guys have joined us on that walk. And for me, I am super proud of those women who stepped out and said, you know what, we need an organization that will support women and families. We need an organization where women can go to get a hand up and not just a handout. We need an organization that women can turn to no matter what stage in their life they are, whether they're just starting off and they need some support, or maybe they've had a life event that means that they need some additional support. And to be enriched, because that's what we do. We enrich women, we help them live their perfect life, and without everybody here joining us on that walk, we could not do that. So thank you guys for being here today. I would love to have our board stand, if you would. I know there's a couple of you here. Okay, thank you. So thank you to our board for the support and for being here and making our mission part of your life's mission, because without the board and without our supporters, we absolutely could not do all the wonderful things our organization does. So I did want to take a second before we get started, before I invite Ashley up, because once we get her up, we won't get her down. So if you did not, I know that if somebody has a Wonder Woman bracelet on, if you could raise your hand. All right. Fantastic. So those Wonder Women bracelets are part of the raffle. So we have a raffle that has over $350 worth of goodies, gift cards to Beach Bistro, Eat Here. There's a Brighton bracelet. Those bracelets are raffle tickets, so they have numbers on them. So if you did not get a raffle bracelet and you want one, if you could please just hold your hand up and we will get somebody to you to make sure that you get your bracelet. So I know some people were asking me where they get those wonderful bracelets, so there they are. Okay, while those ladies get around, they've started on this would be the left side for most of you. They've started on the west side of the building, so they'll work their way, so you'll see them coming around and they'll get those bracelets for you. And I just realized I didn't properly introduce myself. So my name is Mandy Quinones, and I have the honor to be the board chair for the Women's Resource Center. I have been working with the Women's Resource Center for the last 5 years, started off as a volunteer, and here I am chairing the board with some other amazing people that joined me on the board that help make this organization thrive. And so without further ado, even though it looks like she's busy selling bracelets, I can take that over for her. I'm going to ask Ashley to go ahead and join us.
After the rude comment.
That was not! Just because it was truthful doesn't necessarily mean.
No, you're going to be happy to know I loved it, and it's true. And you're going to hear more from me as the day goes. But really, we just want you to enjoy your lunch, and we're going to come back up in about 20-25 minutes to get our program started. And those that wanted the bracelets, just keep raising your hand. We're going to work our way to you, and we want to sell them all. So thank you. Enjoy your lunch. Now we get me. So I know, I just like people to clap for me. Hi, I'm Ashley Brown, and I am the president and CEO of the Women's Resource Center. I know I'm getting more comfortable saying that, which is nice. And welcome to this beautiful spot. It's going to be hard to focus because that's so gorgeous. And a big round of applause to IMG. You're doing a terrific job. And then I'm not sure if Mandy did, you probably did, but I'm going to do it again because it's just worth it. I know you acknowledged our board, but we have an amazing staff at the Women's Resource Center. If you guys could just stand up and give us a little wave and be acknowledged for all the hard work you do. Thank you. And Julie Taylor, always not following instructions, just waved. And we also have wonderful volunteers. If you read and memorized your pamphlet or program, almost 11,000 hours of volunteer hours a year. So thank you to all of our volunteers that make this possible. So it was at this luncheon last year that we were celebrating the merger of the Regional Women's Resource Center. And what a difference a year makes. Although, I was told by 3 separate people yesterday, you look really tired. Rude. Like, right? Who wants to hear that right before? So I'm like, I am packing on the concealer today. So I am fresh as a daisy. No, but it's really, I think one of the best things about this year is both professionally and personally, it's been a year that I've needed the Women's Resource Center. And it just underlines who we are as an organization, because regardless of your station, things happen in your life. The unexpected happens in your life. And if you have a great support system or the financial means, you're able to connect and maybe take care of those little transitions you're going through. But if you don't, where do you turn? The Women's Resource Center. So for me, aside from the merging of 2 organizations, and I don't know, for those of you who work in business, businesses have a personality, a little bit. And when you get women together, we also have personalities. So as we can attest, we've talked about it a lot at our staff meetings and our culture building. As we're creating this regional brand, we put to work what we talk about at the center. It's about getting over sometimes the insecurities of, well, what's Jackie doing? And why is Jackie getting something maybe I should be getting? So it's been really interesting as we're working through. And then personally, my mom had a stroke last year, and she lived with us for a year. Does anybody have their mom live with them for a year? Thank God I'm married, or she'd still be with me. So, but I love my mother for METV taping, and she sees this. No, I have a wonderful mother. Yes, no, I have a wonderful mother. But when you have that transition and you're going on with your life, and all of a sudden you have another piece come back to you. One, I'm so grateful I have the opportunity to have this time with her. But 2, it's really overwhelming to have this time with her. So I've really connected with services myself to say, I'm not handling it well. My friends are so happy that I finally started seeing a counselor. Because it is, you find yourself being a little overwhelmed. So I think our theme, and it's going to be throughout today, it's the theme of our second My WRC magazine that you'll get when you leave today, is the reality is we all need help sometimes. And it's hard to ask for it when we do, but we all need help sometimes, and you're not alone. So with that big story and admission of counseling that I think we all feel better about, really, who tells the story about the center best? are the women and men that take advantage of our services. So we have a client here with us today to share her story. So if you would join me in a warm welcome for Brenda Heckert.
Hi, I'm Brenda. My ex-husband would love to see me standing up here with a microphone in front of me and talking. I moved here last August of 2017, and I moved here right before Irma and right before the eclipse. And it was hot and humid, and I had just moved everything in. I moved from Delaware to Florida to be closer to my son. My son is 20. He's on the East Coast at Lynn University. They have a support program for students with learning differences. My son's on the autism spectrum. But he and I moved here together, and I said, let's just get out from the apartment, let's go take a walk. So we took a walk, and there was a women's retail store we were passing, and they were serving cupcakes, and they were serving lemonade. And I was like, Grayson, let's get some free cupcakes and lemonade. So we went inside, and we both were just in there for a few minutes, and I noticed this big, huge banner. And the banner at the top had WRC. And the only thing I thought about was, wow, somebody's done some great advertising. I think that's kind of cool. And I took a picture of the banner. And then they were asking for donations. You could donate clothing. And I said to Grayson, you know what, stay right here. The apartment's really close. Eat the cupcakes, drink the lemonade, don't touch anything else, and I'm going to go get 3 pieces of clothing or something. So I ran home, got the clothing, brought it back, and then Irma hit, and then I finally got everything back together, and I said, okay, Grayson, you know, I took him to school, hurricane hits, bring him back here. Anyway, I finally get him back to school, and I said to myself, you know, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get a job, and I'm divorced 4 years, and I've taken care of my son. I've taken care of my dad in Delaware. I got him into a nursing home, so they have to deal with Harry and not me. So anyway, but I was like, okay, I got to get a job. And all of a sudden it hit me, and I was like, wait a minute. That was Women's Resource Center, and I went back on my phone, and I looked at the picture, and I saw all the services, and then I'm like, well, I was married to a doctor. I drive a family practice doctor. I drive a Volkswagen. If I had married a specialist, I'd have a Mercedes. And I'm like, but I've got to deal with this, and I've got to do something. So anyway, I was really nervous, and I went ahead. We all make mistakes. I went ahead. And anyway, so I called the Women's Resource Center, and Sandy answered the phone, and I said to her, I need help. I need a resume. I need some legal advice, but I need all kinds of stuff, and I don't know where to start. And Sandy's like, well, the first thing we're going to do is make you an appointment and with a woman who will help you figure out what you need. So I had an appointment the next week. I went in. The woman was really nice, and we sat together, and I told her my story, you know, all the things that were going on. And I said, I think the most important thing is that I have a resume to start with. And she's like, okay. So she made all the appointments for me and made them really quickly, and I went back in and sat down with Jane and said, okay, I know how to make an appointment for getting my hair highlighted. I know how to... I don't cook really. You know, I was just telling her different things, and she's like, Brenda, tell me more about like what you like to do. And so I said, well, I love people. I used to work in retail. Anyway, so we sat down together, and she made a really nice resume for me. The next week, I went somewhere and got some breakfast, and I was taking a walk, and I went in another retail store, and I said to the woman, oh, you carry this. I named the lines that she carried, and she said to me, are you looking for a job? And I said, yes, I am. And she said, well, as a matter of fact, there's a store around the corner. It's Italian leather goods. It's his first store in the United States. He speaks broken English, and he looks like a young George Clooney. And I was like, I'll be right back. And I went home and I got my new resume and I was so proud. And anyway, so I went and she said, don't waste any time. You know, he really needs somebody. He's going back to Italy. So I went in, interviewed with him, and I was so proud to give him my resume, and I got the job. And so, yay! And I work there now. I still work there. He trained me for 3 weeks and left for Italy. And he said to me, no gift wrap, no shipping, just sales. And I was like, it's Thanksgiving and Christmas. I can do this. And I went home and brought all my wrapping paper and ribbons in that I'd been saving for years. And every man that came in, I'm like, I do gift wrap. But then I also needed other help, and the other help I needed was being divorced. There were certain aspects of my life that I wasn't sure that I made the right decisions with. So I went back to the Resource Center, and I talked to Jane, who did my resume, but I also talked to Sandy, and they both said, once a week we have an attorney, and it's, whether I should say, but it's $10 to see an attorney. And I was like, oh my God. So I went and sat with her, and more than anything, I just liked her so much because she just gave me good advice. I wasn't looking to, go back and get a Mercedes. I just needed help. I was like, am I doing the right things for myself, my son? So that they did that. Then I went back again for more career counseling. Now, I've been with the store that I work for since October. And more recently, I had friends visit, and one of the friends said, what kind of health insurance do you have? And I said, well, it's a retail store, so I don't really even want to tell you. And she's like, well, Brenda, maybe you should be working at like one of the hotels, Ritz-Carlton, whatever. So I went back to Jane with my resume, and we sat down, and Jane said to me, do you like your job? And I'm like, yes. Do you like who you work for? And I said, I have the nicest boss. He respects me. That's something so different for me. And she said, Brenda, I want you to stay where you are. I want you to give it a year. I want your resume to show that. And I was like, really? She was like, yes. She said, do you know how hard it is when women come in to find a job where they like it and they like their boss and they're happy? So stay where you are. So I'm just going to finish right now. I am someone who may not look like I needed help, but I did. And the Women's Resource Center was great. Thanks.
Picture.
Oh, not with the organ in front of your face.
Thank you.
It's not easy sharing your story. So Brenda, thank you. There is a theme of people running away from the podium, though. But you're brave to share your story. You're funny, you're smart, and you're going to do great things. So, and you have a community behind you. So thank you. Merger. We've talked about the merger, and we really were focused on sharing the best of our programming with each other. We expanded counseling in our 2-generational program, Project Uplift, with Regina Morris. Where are you? Our case manager for Project Uplift. Amazing work. Thank you. So we expanded those programming, really wonderful programs, into Sarasota County. And then we expanded scholarship program, and we're in the midst of expanding mentoring into Manatee County. So it's really cool how we're building on our strengths. And our second testimonial is through the magic of METV, great community resource. Ashley Snyder's going to share her story. Charles, if you could roll tape.
My name is Ashley Snyder, and I was born and raised here in Sarasota, Florida. I grew up with 2 younger brothers and graduated from the IB program at Riverview High School before heading off to college at the University of Florida. It was during my second year at UF that I realized being a first-generation student sort of set me apart from most of my peers. Most of my friends weren't worried about how they were paying for school and had strong networks to connect with for postgraduate jobs or education. And while we were all going through the same motions to obtain our degrees, it was a very different experience for me without the same resources. I moved home after graduation in order to work and pay off my student loans with the intent to apply to physician assistant programs. On September 23, 2013, I was accepted to Nova Southeastern University's physician assistant program, and on the same day, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I maintained my job while undergoing procedures and diagnostic testing, and I'm currently cancer-free, but the recurrence rate is 50% for the type that I have, so it's something that's always in the back of my mind. My program at Nova Southeastern didn't allow students to be employed while enrolled, so money was always a source of stress. It was during this time that I learned of the scholarship program at the Women's Resource Center. I was able to apply for and receive scholarships for all 3 years of my program. These scholarships allowed me to focus on my academics, and today I am a proud graduate with honors, I might add, and I'm currently a practicing physician assistant. The scholarship was first and foremost a financial assistance, but it also served as a constant reminder that there were people who believed in me and wanted to see me achieve my dreams despite my resources. It was a motivator when exams got hard and I just didn't want to study anymore because I didn't want to let my donors down. I am very proud of the things that I have been able to accomplish, and I'm so honored to have shared this journey with the Women's Resource Center. Thank you.
And Ashley's practicing at Blake Hospital, which is why she can't be here with us today. But that is, I think, a reminder, we live in a beautiful place. But the reality is almost half of the people that live in our community don't make enough money to survive, much less deal with the things that come up in everyday life. And I think that's why it's so important that we have a Women's Resource Center. And we wouldn't be able to do it without all of you. We don't receive any state or federal funding. We do receive a Manatee County grant, but 63% of our budget comes from individuals, corporations, and private grants and foundations. So thank you for being here today and supporting the work we're doing. One last thing, and then we are on to our wonderful Wonder Women. Part of our merger involved really listening to the community. And we did lots of conversations with clients, with donors, with stakeholders. And one of the coolest things we did was an intergenerational focus group. And we had women, men, and we had every decade from 20s to 80s represented in that discussion on who is the Women's Resource Center and what do you want from a Women's Resource Center. And there's two things that, one, the My WRC came out of that group with Miss Dylan Howell, who was the cover girl on our first My WRC magazine. And then they come up with such clever ideas like the postcards that you have on your table. That was from that committee that said, we want to hear and have inspirational notes from women in our community to help move us forward. And I want to invite Dylan Howell and Kelly Davis Strasbaugh, who are here, to talk a little bit about the vision boards that you saw when you came in. So ladies, if you could join me.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to start off by saying that Kelly and I are completely humbled to be asked to speak here, especially being surrounded by such powerful women in our community. I think we can all agree that giving women the tools to succeed is not only smart, it's sustainable. But why do we support the Women's Resource Center? I give to the center my time as a volunteer for my sister, who is still suffering in silence as a victim of domestic violence.
I was farther away from the microphone. Move, Dylan. Just kidding. Had to lighten it up a little bit. That always makes me cry. I give to the center because when Ashley and the girls reached out to me, I'm like, it's so important, especially in today's climate, that we lift each other up. You don't get anywhere by piggybacking off somebody else. You get somewhere by lifting each other up and being supportive. And if you don't have a girl squad in your life, a la Taylor Swift or Beyonce, you are missing out. And that's what the Women's Resource Center means to me. It means giving me friends like Dylan and friends like Kalia and people like Ashley who really just want to see us succeed, and that is amazing. That's why we need it.
I also believe that every woman deserves a chance, a sense of community.
So today we have created some message boards. We had them at our last event too, and it kind of came from this really cool energy that we had as a committee. We want people to see these message boards when they come into the center and see why people in the community support the organization, why they can trust this organization, and how great it is. So that's kind of our call to action is when you're thinking about all the great things that this organization does, that's what we want you to sign on the message boards. Because keep in mind that women will see that coming in, and men, using these resources. So that's kind of no pressure, but it needs to be really good. Just kidding. But it can be funny, it can be light, but it's whatever it means to you. But just Ashley, and I know Dylan kind of touched on it, but thank you for letting us be on this committee and have involvement in this great organization.
Thank you. To receive help, you must have the courage to ask for it. And that's exactly what the women do when they walk through our doors. When these women see the message boards, they will not only know that they have come to the right place, they will feel the love and support of our community. Thank you.
We said we're not running off from the microphone this time. I'm like, I'll just take it with me.
You guys are the best. Doesn't it? Everybody feels good about the next generation, don't they? Makes me good. So now, the Wonder Women. And Manatee County started celebrating Wonder Women in our community in honor of our 25th anniversary. And we have some Wonder Women here today. So former Wonder Women, if you could just give us a stand, a wave, however. I know who you are, so don't, right? And I can see you. Yes. I will say we've gotten better at honoring our Wonder Women. So when you see what we're doing now, don't say, I got cheated when I was a Wonder Woman. No, but we have 3 amazing, diverse women that we're celebrating today. And we have a video that we want to show you that here it's really the women and men who nominated them speaking about them.
We have all encountered adversity in small and big ways. At the Women's Resource Center, we believe we can learn from these setbacks and move forward to build a better future. We have staff and countless volunteers who offer counseling and education on financial literacy, health, wellness, career services, and emotional stability. At WRC, we have programs that fit your interest, your budget, your needs, your life. Today, we celebrate Wonder Women in our community who embody the spirit of our mission. These women effortlessly lend a hand and a heart and do it with such ease that they inspire us to pick ourselves up to build a better tomorrow.
Chief Bevan is a Wonder Woman in our community to me because of the way that she has become so quickly ingrained in our community, certainly as the Chief of Police, but her attendance and involvement in so many community events and organizations has really raised the profile of the Bradenton Police Department in our community and made her such a visible leader for the residents, the business owners, and the visitors that come to the Bradenton area.
Well, she's a Wonder Woman in a lot of ways, personally and professionally. Professionally, she's a Wonder Woman because she's really, really good at her job. She's a terrific police chief. She was working for the St. Petersburg Police Department when she was 19 years old. before she could buy bullets legally. So she was on the job and doing the police work. And she has come here and now is my police chief. She's done a great job. I had 150 applicants for the job, and she was the one. And she didn't get the job because she's a woman. She got the job because she was the best qualified person for that job. And that's how she got here.
Why do I think she's a Wonder Woman? She's everything she does, she gives 100%. She is a workaholic, a perfectionist. The joke around here is they'll see there's some officers or detectives, lieutenants around here will see emails from her at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and the joke is she never sleeps. She's got her PhD, so when she went back to school, she took it serious. So everything she does, she gives it 100%, and she's one of those people that is a great cop and a great leader.
It's very hard to put into just a few words why Teresa's a Wonder Woman. She's such an incredibly strong woman who takes on any task that is given to her or that she sees needs to be done in the community, and takes it on with such vigor and passion. Teresa is a mentor to so many of her staff. She mentors younger doctors who are trying to pass their exams, and I know that there's one in the room today who would absolutely agree with me on that. She sees things from the big picture, and then she takes the steps to make sure that there are people in the community who will see the big picture too.
But Teresa particularly is one of the most caring and generous women I've ever known. She does most everything for everybody else with least concern for herself, which there again, from a mother's perspective, is sometimes not as good as I want it to be. But she does really come across as a Wonder Woman. She's really a strong supporter of organizations such as Women's Resource, PACE, USF, SM, all of those programs that foster learning and promoting women. That's her first thing. But her leadership style is tenacious. I mean, she believes in bringing everyone into the fold. If she's in a meeting and someone isn't prepared to offer their opinion, she almost forces them. And those people have gone on to become great leaders because of her commitment to getting everyone involved and making sure that they know their opinion is worth hearing.
Anything that comes to Teresa's way, she absolutely can handle it. She has had some personal things in her life. All she does is just pull up her big girl panties and goes on. She's the most loving, honest, perfect person that I know. She's even came to my house and brought a bottle of wine when she thought that I was down or needed something.
As a young girl, entering her freshman year of high school, she was struck by a car while riding a bike. Her injuries were absolutely traumatic. The most traumatic injury she sustained was a compound fracture to her fibula and tibia. This resulted in many surgeries, bone grafts, casting, and most of all, learning to walk again. This was quite a challenge for a young girl. She spent many hours in the pool, trying to walk, many hours of physical therapy, and she not only accomplished that, but she went on to be a sugar cane and a cheerleader and all through high school. It was at this time, that she decided she wanted to be a physician so that she could help others to overcome their problems. So that was, to me, tragedy to triumph. And if that's not perseverance, I don't know what is.
You know, she's just everywhere she needs to be. She's just energetic. She's protecting our kids. I think that's probably the most important thing she does. I mean, she's making sure they're getting a great education, but she's also spending so much time protecting her kids. I imagine she wishes she had that lasso so she could get the truth out of most of them, but other than that, she's doing a great job of protecting and educating our children.
Dr. Green is a Wonder Woman to me because of the integrity that she shows in every aspect of her life. She's in a very high-powered position in our community, and she's charged with ensuring that our children are educated and ready for the future so that we can continue to build community. And yet, on every turn, there are aspects to that position that have her under scrutiny, that have her facing unexpected things that occur in community, and yet everything she does is turned outward. She looks to us for input. She takes the input and she uses it to ensure that she's using everything at her disposal to educate our children. And she does that with a great deal of integrity, with grace, and with passion for her work.
If you've been inspired by these Wonder Women, consider being a force of good in our community to lift up our clients toward a better future. My WRC, programs that fit your life.
We pride ourselves on being on time, and I apologize we're running a little late, but it's so worth it because these women are amazing. So please join me in welcoming Chief Melanie Bevan. And they get real bracelets. Wow. I know. I'll put this over here.
They just wanted us to take a minute or two, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Jackie foremost for putting me in for this award. With the support of Mayor Poston, I continue to say it's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life, not only to get this job, but to come to Manatee County. I feel at home here. I grew up probably like a lot of you, and my Wonder Woman was Linda Carter, right? Who remembers that back then? And it probably comes as no surprise. I idolized Charlie's Angels. I idolized the Bionic Woman. I idolized Wonder Woman. And who would expect that I'd become a police officer someday? I actually have done some presentations for some different groups of women, and the theme of it is actually called it's Who Will I Be If I Stay? And anybody who has seen the movie Wonder Woman, by the way, the most recent movie, okay? I will tell you it's an empowering movie if you get beyond the flash and the bling and the really scantily clad outfits that I could not wear at this point. But I'll tell you, there's a great message in there, and it's a message of empowerment, of women looking to achieve, and it's what I see in front of me. What a great community of women here. What a great place to belong, to be in. And I'll tell you, that's why I guess this honor is so great for me, because just even the name of it, it's I don't go around telling people that Wonder Woman is my hero, but I have her cup at home. I drink from it every day, and it was so fitting because in the quiet of my home, I respect who she is because she epitomizes all of you here. And so thank you, and thanks to all of you for this honor.
This is completely unplanned, but can you open this for us? That's not scary at all.
I know.
Davey?
I did ask Ashley, and she said I could take a moment. So I do make it a point to get out and talk to young girls. And so if you all want to donate your Wonder Woman bracelets when you leave the room, I would love to build that into awarding those to them, because you'd be amazed how important those little things are to them. Oh my God. I just got a Wonder Woman doll. I love you, and it's got my face on it. I'm going to cry. This is great. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Mayor Poston. I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I can't move the box. I know, we'll just... That's hilarious.
So is that going to go on the shelf at work or no? Okay, no. Before I introduce the next Wonder Woman, last year at this luncheon we said goodbye to our founder, Jan Entwistle, And this year we say goodbye to the founder of our Latinas and also an inaugural Wonder Woman, Maria Zavala. So she will be missed, but her legacy will live on. I have a rowdy. You guys are being quiet, which I don't trust. My rowdy Latinas, that makes me feel better. So, they both just epitomize what it is to be a Wonder Woman. Dr. Green, John Horn had a lot more to his video, so we'll give you raw footage of that. I think that you'll enjoy it, but know that you have many fans, and John certainly being one of them. So please join me in welcoming, and a big Manatee County, yes, you want to stay with us, Dr. Diana Green.
When she told me John Horn nominated me, and then I heard there was a video, I just leaned over and I said, this is going to be scary. So thank you for editing it. Thank you very much. Today, if I was to say who I really would dedicate this award to, it would actually be my older son, Aldon. Sometimes as women, we gain Wonder Woman status by the experiences that we go through. And my son, Alden, was diagnosed with acute lymphocytic leukemia when he was 2 years old. And going through that process for 3 very long years, you learn how to stand up for your child. I was very meek and mild. I didn't like to be around crowds. But when you hear your baby crying, Mommy, I don't want to be stuck again, you will stand up and say some things to people. You will be the one who says, if you can't get this right the first time, then don't touch my child. It is through that experience that I learned that nothing in life can bring me down, because I survived looking at my child thinking each and every day, is this the day he's going to die? And so through that experience, the compassion, the passion for children sort of blossomed in me. And I made it my life's mission that whatever I do, I'm going to do it as if today is my last day, because for 3 years I looked at my son and kept asking myself, is this his last day? Now today, my son is 27 years old. He's an entrepreneur, he's full of life, and I just thank God every day for him being here. And it was through that Wonder Woman rose up in me and said, you know what, you have to stand up for other children. Because there were children in that hospital whose parents weren't there and they needed someone. And there's children every day. And today, right now, we have over 49,000 in Manatee that they need to make sure someone's standing up for them. And I will do that each and every day as long as I'm here. I will stand up for our children, and I will fight for them, and I will do what's right for them. And that is why we have partnerships with the Horns, such as the reading program that we have, Dive In for Reading. And I need everyone to stand up. So I need everyone to find out what it is that you can do for our students, and then wake up in the morning and do it. Thank you very much for this honor.
I'll send you the raw Very raw. Yeah. No, John Horn, that is what we love about you. You're passionate and you're not afraid to share. So last but not least, an Aunt Pat, and I'm sorry, you are my Aunt Pat. When I was watching the raw video and you said she pulls on her big girl panties, I'm like, oh, that's staying in. And if you look at your cards, we've given either favorite quotes or mottos of our Wonder Women, and we did throw in one from Eleanor Roosevelt because you just have to. But Teresa's made me giggle. And I've known Teresa for years and years. And when she said, we just have to go with my motto, work hard, play harder, and that is Dr. Teresa Raw.
So when I was asked to come up with some things to say for a couple of minutes, I was drawn to a recent talk that I had the privilege of hearing, the first female African-American Paralympic medalist speak. She had her leg amputated at the age of 4. So imagine what she had to overcome in order to reach the pinnacle that she was able to reach. But my favorite part of her story was telling how she actually made the Olympic team as a 3rd qualifier. So no one expected her to do anything when she couldn't even beat her own teammates. When she got to the Olympics, her very first run, she went through it very quickly, looked up, and she was the leader. She had the best time in the world. The way you score in the Olympics, though, is a combination of 2 runs. So the second run is not the same as the first. She had the opportunity, though, to be the last one to go because she had the best time. And many people were saying that people were falling. This was a very difficult and challenging course. So she knew all she needed to do to win the gold medal was to finish. She came through the last gate, and she fell just before the finish line. She was angry, she was frustrated, but she got up, and she crossed the finish line. At the end of the runs, it turned out that she was second, that many women had fallen, but not very many women had gotten up. But because she got up and finished, she got second. The reason why she didn't get first is she didn't get up fast enough. So I say that as a segue to thanking the people and the reason why I feel I'm here today. And that is my family, my friends, and although I haven't asked directly for help from the Women's Resource Center, Ashley has given me a lot of it. So my comment to everybody is, life gives us a lot of challenges. And probably every single person in this room had to overcome something and to persevere. So I leave you with this. Get up faster. Keep going. There's nothing that you can't accomplish if you don't try. Thank you for this honor.
And so I like to, just by show of hands, who loves public speaking? Yeah, no one. But thank you all for, the community embracing this award and nominating some just phenomenal Wonder Women. And it was really hard. We had 3 great judges. Buzz Turner, who's not here with us today, Joan Crowder, who is somewhere, and Felicia Jett. And I know that they had a difficult job at, thank you. And I'm looking for Felicia, but she's somewhere. See, you're to my left. At our Tropicana table. So thank you, and one more round of applause for our amazing Wonder Women. And before we pull the drawing, if anybody wants to leave their awesome bracelets, you can do so at the front, and we'll collect them for you. If not, we'll manage to get some to you, because you can tell people are like, I don't want to give up my Wonder Woman bracelets. If you don't be ashamed and hide it in your purse. We'll make sure she gets some. John Horn. And another thing that I do want to say is, and busy people get more stuff done. And I know that all of you have a lot going on, as we all do. But your willingness to be here today and hear stories and then share with others who may need us is important. And when we talk about other programs, I know personally I'm going to volunteer to mentor at one of the days of reading at Landside because it's close to my house and I can get there. So thank you all for making Manatee County the amazing, amazing community it is. Again, thank you so much for being here with us. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you did not choose to charge my credit card in the Giving Challenge, go online and support us or your favorite organization on Tuesday. Thank you.